What's up with the squad? Back with another video. I seen the title was going down. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe button for me, please. Y'all see it. Fox News reports the Harris campaign has had to resort to bringing in Donald Trump impersonator. Bro, I wasn't even expecting to read this, y'all. I promise y'all I wasn't. She literally needs a Donald Trump impersonator for debate prep.
We know that Vice President Kamala Harris, she is in her hotel in Pittsburgh. They've got the lights as if it's in a studio. They've got the stage. They've even brought in somebody who's dressed and acting like the former president. And then we know that the former president himself is just having sort of informal policy discussions from what we understand in preparation.
That's how she practicing, y'all?
That Vice President Kamala Harris, she is in her hotel in Pittsburgh. They've got the lights as if it's in a studio. They've got the stage. They've even brought in somebody who's dressed and acting like the former president. And then we know that the former president himself is just having sort of informal.
She has to have somebody dressed like the president. Yes, the president. Because that's come November, that's what it's going to be. I don't know why everybody is sitting there like Kamala is going to end up winning. Like, you already know, like, I feel like people do know. I feel like they just in denial of the fact and they just trying to drag it and push it. I think that's what it is. I had somebody comment on my video yesterday. And I made the comment and said on my video, Kamala has been in Pennsylvania for 5 days. That's what I was told. She'll be in Pennsylvania for 5 days. And she did, if y'all check my last video out, she did visit the spice store. But that's about it. Other than that, they have her in a hotel room. Literally. I would not lie to y'all, bro. Practicing. Y'all heard it right here, so I can't lie to y'all. Practicing. That's how bad it is, because it ain't they said no notes. Those are the rules, right? They said no notes in the rules. ABC. I'm just making sure. Props or pre-written notes are not allowed on stage. So they literally have her hauled up in a hotel room practicing everything they can. I feel like if she has to do that, you might as well just not want to support her. And I can't tell y'all what to do, obviously. Like, by all means, I cannot tell y'all what to do. But for a person that needs notes, person that needs this amount of practice, y'all really want this person to be the president of the United States? I'm being serious.
Hey, David, I'm in Pittsburgh. Kamala Harris is in Pittsburgh. It's a hot spot as she prepares for the upcoming debate on ABC News. All eyes will be watching that debate as she's now prepping here. What does that mean? Well, it means she's focusing in on policy and also looking through some briefing books, reportedly telling voters she's ready to help you and the middle class. Watch.
So I think it's important for people to not get distracted by, his name on a tower when we ought to look at the fact that he bankrupts businesses that he's involved in, and economists have talked about his plan going forward and how it would contribute to America's deficit and actually cost American middle-class families more than they are paying now.
I guarantee she's reading off a note card right now. Listen to the way she talks. She's reading off a note card, bro.
Going forward and how it would contribute to America's deficit and actually cost American middle-class families more than they are paying now.
So we'll have to see what voters think about that response. Harris has barely done any media interviews, right, since she announced her candidacy. And the VP has not participated in a debate in 4 years. So she's trying to sharpen her skills, according to her team. Harris and her VP.
According to her team, she's trying to sharpen her skills. No shade. She said she hasn't had a debate for 4 years. I feel like there's no excuse whatsoever. I don't care how anybody's, bro. There is no excuse whatsoever, bro, for it to be like this. She's been the VP for this. Like you should have plenty of answers to everything. You shouldn't need no cards. You shouldn't need this amount of practice that she's getting.
Minnesota Governor Tim Walz has spent a lot
bro.
of time in the all-important state of Pennsylvania. Walz has been crisscrossing the state, actually joined by his daughter, trying to connect with Americans. It underscores how critical a win is here for both parties. Also, a new endorsement for the Harris team. Look at this. Former Republican Vice President Dick Cheney saying he's going to vote for Kamala Harris. Says Trump can never be trusted with power again. His daughter, former Wyoming Representative Liz Cheney, discussing that decision.
Publicly that there's never been an individual in our country who is as grave a threat to our democracy as Donald Trump is.
So they'd rather vote for a person that needs no cards and needs this amount of practice and all of that. And she's been in office for 3.5 years. And they trying to say that, bro, I'm just saying, like, just think she gives word salad. She's fake. She's a hypocrite. It's so many things that I can go to. It's a whole list, bro. No policies. Please get in my please, I want y'all to get in my comments. Y'all always, it's always, people that's in my comments talking crazy. Tell me them policies. Let me know. I want to know what Kamala is going to do for the Americans. I want to know. And I know what the answer is. I know what it is. I'm just trying to keep it cool
so now
today.
Going back to that debate prep and exactly what's going on here in Pittsburgh, she's trying to get ready to go against Donald Trump on that stage. But David, we know when Trump talks, and he talks all the time to the media, he's usually unscripted, goes off the cuff. So it could be a little bit difficult to prepare for what he's going to say.
And just like that, I'd rather have a real than a fake. I don't want nothing. You got to sit there and, okay, so if they ask you this question, say this. If they ask you this question, you need to say that. If they ask you this, man, listen, I'm going to say what's real. What's really going on. That's what I'm going to say. She's been in office this long and she don't know nothing. She needs this amount of practice. Man. Listen to Sarah Huckabee Sanders. This is actually the first time I heard of Sarah Huckabee Sanders. I need to check more of Sarah's stuff.
Debate. What do you think the stakes are? How important is this for former President Trump?
Well, I think it's actually more important for Vice President Harris, somebody who doesn't speak to the media, doesn't take questions. Right. In fact, at the end of this interview, John, I will have done more interviews during this election cycle than she has since becoming the Democrat nominee for president.
I said it yesterday. I literally said it's a lot of people. It's a lot of people. And they did a lot of interviews. And they want to push out what Ian say. I think I got a video of Ian saying, I'm going to let this one play.
It's more important for Vice President Harris, somebody who doesn't speak to the media, doesn't take questions. In fact, at the end of this interview, John, I will have done more interviews during this election cycle than she has since becoming the Democrat nominee for president. It is absurd that she does not take questions from the press, from the American people. And so I think this is actually a much more important night for her because it's so rare that we hear from her, that we hear her take questions, or that we know anything that she actually stands for.
Bro, listen, I know for a fact this debate, y'all think Joe Biden did something in that debate and how he was? Watch Kamala, bro. This is going to be so hilarious. I've literally been waiting on this. Y'all know I love college football, I love basketball, I love watching NFL football games. I love sports. I love all that. Scratch all that this week. I cannot wait for this debate. It is going to be hilarious. It is going to be hilarious just for the simple fact. And it obviously is serious, but it's going to be hilarious just for the simple fact. It's going to be worse. I'm telling y'all, it's going to be worse than Joe Biden's. I know it is. She got to sit there and practice that long, bro. Like, make it make sense, y'all. Usually You know what? I'm gonna just keep my comments to myself. I'm gonna let this video
Waiting
play.
to figure out what to do in this election.
And they haven't heard from her.
And this is Ian Sams, the spokesman. I said something else yesterday, and I didn't mean to. So,
And I know that she did the speech in New Hampshire, but President Trump, for all the interviews that he's done, he's willing to take questions, everything. Is it a risk to put all your chips on one debate when she hasn't really been able to do any sort of Q&A with anybody except for in debate prep?
Well, I reject that. She sat down with Dana Bash for a long interview on CNN that aired
One
just a
interview
week
in
ago.
47 days.
One interview, 47 days, 18 minutes. Took her 47 days to do the interview. The interview was edited down 18 minutes. The interview was over, I think, 40 minutes or something like that? They edited that mug all the way down to 18 minutes, y'all.
Well, I know you guys are just now paying attention to her now that she's the presidential candidate, but she's done about 90 interviews this year as the vice president, and people maybe weren't paying attention or listening. She's taken questions from reporters on the campaign trail so far.
What I want Ian to do, I'm gonna contact Ian. I'm gonna email Ian. I'm gonna ask him. I'm gonna say, Mr. Ian Sams, spokesman for Kamala. Can you send me just one clip, 5-second clips of all them 90 interviews that she did? Cause I ain't seen no 90 interviews. Y'all know I do my research. I look up every single thing. I see every single thing. I'm telling y'all, when I'm 2-3 hours, I'm looking at everything. I'm seeing what's going on, seeing this, and I ain't seen no 90 interviews. He tweaking.
In this campaign, people who are covering her every single day, she's going to do more interviews and talk to the press more and take more.
That man lying through them glasses.
Reporter questions. Of course she's going to do that over the course of this campaign. But I think that she's going to explain to the country on Tuesday night what the difference in this election is and the choice between President Trump and her, and who has the right vision for the future. Are we ready? Are we going to keep doing what Donald Trump's been doing for the last decade? Or are we going to...
Look, I thought we was talking about Kamala. They love doing that, bro. I'm telling you, they love doing that. What I mean by they, them Democrats, them whoever supporting Kamala, that's what I mean by they. Recklezz, what do you mean by they?
going to turn the page and look forward to something else.
But Ian, first of all, she hadn't done a lot of interviews, and
he know it.
Debate prep's going well. Yelling that to the pool is not just taking questions from the press.
This year.
But here's the last thing, which is.
And we talking about her being a nominee. Now it's her being the vice president. Come on,
going
bro.
well. Yelling that to the pool is not just taking questions from the press.
This year.
But here's the last thing, which is, do the American...
I'm telling y'all, his nose is just getting longer and longer every time he speak. Every time he speak. Dude is literally, if Pinocchio was Pinocchio real? Pinocchio wasn't a real person. He was a dog, right? It'd be Ian Sams.
Voters not
Mr. Pinocchio.
to hear from her directly. She wants to be the commander-in-chief. We paid attention to her, and you guys didn't like that either. So the interviews.
It's funny.
Go ahead. I'll give you the last one.
It's funny. I hear the question, and it's funny because it's like you're acting like she's in the witness protection program. She's been traveling across the battleground states.
She is. She's been in a hotel room. She's gonna be in the hotel room until the debate. She still might be in a hotel room during the debate.
Talking to thousands of people in packed arenas, arenas that are much more packed than what President Trump is speaking to.
And look, and I think
people
scripted interviews scripted
speeches
speeches are great. But it's different from doing an interview. And also, she hasn't had to explain why she has done the flip-flop on fracking, the Green New Deal, Medicare for all, and now even banning plastic straws.
But Dana, you're Dana.
He don't, like, you still saying, bro, he said Dana like 5 times. I'm telling y'all, man, I'm going to let
But it's different from doing an interview. And also, she hasn't had to explain why she has done the flip-flop on fracking, the Green New Deal, Medicare for all, and now even banning plastic straws.
But Dana, you're Dana, not you, Dana.
Yes,
but
I know Dana versus
Dana last week on CNN in a fulsome sit-down interview asked her questions about all those things. So I just think it's inaccurate to say she's not answering these questions. Okay. She sat down and did a long interview last week to explain her positions on these issues and how her views have developed being the vice president. Fulsome sit-down interview asked her questions about all those things. So I just think it's inaccurate to say she's not answering these questions. Okay. She sat down and did a long interview last week. That
man said long interview last week. This man just said a long interview she did last week. I guarantee it was a long interview. It was. That's what they want to call it.
To explain her positions on these issues and how her views have developed, being the vice president to President Biden, how she's gotten so much done. When you talk about fracking, this is the vice president who cast the tie-breaking vote on the biggest piece of legislation to spur clean energy job growth in American history.
Yeah,
That's
which
what
led
she's
to
going to build
inflation,
on
which
and
is
grow
causing
on
retirees to
as
have to go
president.
back to work. Anyway, I love talking to you. You have been a real.
Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe button. Catch y'all on the next one.